In today's video, we're going to be working on the Hellcat swapped Dodge Dakota, aka Halkota. And today's video, we are going to be doing a few things on the power steering system. So I've been putting this off for a little bit, but we have been running this with the Hellcat power steering pump. So it's a hydraulic pump. Some of the Hellcats come with electric style steering, so they don't require a power steering pump, but in this case, we needed to use it, so we used the Hellcat pump, but it still has a Dakota rack. It's been working pretty good, or actually I should say really good, and then when we went to Moparty, it ended up bursting one of the O-rings on a adapter fitting that we had on there, and then we fixed it, and then it started leaking again. So I'm just revising the whole thing at this point. This is a Hellcat power steering cooler. I wasn't running a power steering cooler because I really didn't intend on doing any sort of road course, but then I say that, but we ended up running this thing in the autocross at Moparty. It was a ton of fun, but between doing the autocross and then going to the burnout contests and having this thing almost redline for like 60 seconds, it ended up boiling the fluid. I'm hoping that didn't damage the pump, but regardless, I'm gonna go ahead and install the cooler. So right now I'm just rigging up the lines. So I still had the rubber hoses from the wrecked Hellcat, but our cooler was absolutely shot. So I got the new power steering cooler mocked up here, and it ends up just clicking right onto the condenser. So the condenser has these little posts for it to just kind of mount there. So it's a factory location for a Hellcat, so we'll be running the same thing. And these are the factory lines, and it looks like I just did a little bit of test fitting before I started this video. It does look like they will reach. So pretty much at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and drop the fluid. I'm also gonna be updating one of the fittings on here. I'm gonna be putting a Earl's fitting because we kind of used a different brand and it's been leaking, and I've been fighting with O-rings. So we're gonna put an Earl's fitting on there as well. And hopefully by the end of this video, we've got good working power steering. Okay, so we popped the line off. We're letting her drain out. If you guys watched the previous video, we converted this thing over from ATF4. And now we are trying to get it to a synthetic that is rated for the pump, because this pump is extremely finicky on the fluid that it likes or doesn't like. So I'm trying to keep it as happy as possible. Even stock Hellcat guys burn up these pumps. They're just not very durable for whatever reason. So anyways, we're gonna take that off. This is the return line that right now goes straight to the reservoir. So hopefully what I'm gonna try to do is get this fitting into there, and then this one's gonna go over to our cooler and then back to the reservoir. So that's the intended plan. And at the same time, I'm also going to be replacing that fitting right there with our Earl's one, so hopefully that holds up a little bit better. But let's let this drain, and we'll see where we end up. Okay, so we got the line that goes over to our cooler attached, and that's the factory Hellcat one. And now I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the comparison between the other brand of fitting that was causing us problems and the Earl's one. Okay, so here's the two fittings, you guys. So this is the other brand one, and this is the Earl's one. So they're the same size of fitting as far as having the -6 on the one side, but you can clearly see the difference on the Earl's one. So see how the Earl's one extends much deeper into the pocket and has this tapered portion here? Well, that is where our mating surface kind of comes into play, because what was happening here is, you can see here, this was not going far enough into the actual pocket where it seats. And that's why when I doubled up on this one, this is the old one again, when I doubled up on the O-ring, it was able to seat, whereas this one is going to reach and extend further into the rack. You can see just the difference there, the length of them. So that way we get a good seal, and I hopefully don't have to ever deal with this again. But yeah, I think this is going to be the ticket for us. So I'm excited to get this back on here and not have to mess with this anymore. All right, so here's the new setup. So we've got this line going over to our cooler before it goes back to the reservoir. We've got our new fitting in here, and then we go up to the top. We've got our line coming in through here, goes through our cooler, and then it leaves out here and goes back to our reservoir. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill this thing up with fluid, and hopefully no leaks. This is the fluid that I want to try this time, you guys. So this one, some random brand, but Penray synthetic power steering fluid, and it actually has the rating for Mopar. So it has the MS, whatever it is, specifically for the Hellcat. I double checked it, which I thought was pretty cool that it has it. So I'm gonna use this stuff. We'll fill it up, and then what I'm gonna do is just move the wheel lock to lock before I start it. Just get all the air out of it, let it kind of burp the system, and then we'll fire it up. All right, so this is the next place that wants to leak on us, is right here. So This fitting we had to manipulate a while back to get it to clear the oil pan, and it's lasted for a while, but now it wants to leak out of here, so it's just an ever so slight drip. So I'm gonna see if I can do something about it. Of course, these ones were good, boys. That's solid, but this one right here, I'm gonna take it out, see what it looks like after, you know, a year and a half of running, see what's going on with it, and see if I can't do something with it. Maybe I'll replace it. All right, guys, so we got it running again, and I actually managed to seal up that one that was leaking, so check it out. So right there, you guys can see it was leaking. I took it out. It is a really strange seal that runs on here. I'll tell you more about that in a second, but no leaks, no leaks. So we've got our power steering back in order again finally, so thankfully we'll see how long she lasts this time. All right, so this is the part that I wanted to show you guys. It's a little bit hard to show you once it was all back together, but these fittings here, there's 4 circled here. This is where the lines pass over, and this is a very strange design in my opinion. So they're all flared fittings, but then they have a little Teflon O-ring that goes around it. So the fitting itself is flared like you can see here, but the actual rack doesn't have any flare on it where it goes into it. And then you'll see here on this parts list, this is where it's circled. These little Teflon fittings are actually what's sealing it, and I had to mess with that to get it to actually seal again. If I keep having issues, I'm gonna have to replace those little Teflon seals, and you can see here in the repair kit, they sell them as well with it to be able to replace them. All right, guys, so this is actually working. So everything is good, no leaks, and now we have a factory power steering cooler on here. So I don't know how I feel about it. Comment down below what you guys think of the look. I mean, it is what it is. It's a factory piece. It's how it would look on the Hellcat. Only difference on the Hellcat, of course, is the grill doesn't come off or up when you lift the hood. So it looks a little bit more finished on a Hellcat, I would say. But either way, I already had these 2 posts just chilling there. So I don't think it really makes the look any different too much. But with the hood down, it does look kind of cool with the black piece back behind there. So, of course, it clears. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but she's back there. But yeah, she's good. I'll keep you guys updated on how everything works so far with the proper fluid in there. Like I said, originally I was running ATF4 because that's what the rack was filled with. So I just filled that pump with ATF4. And then I switched over to, I think it's called Driven. It's like a Joe Gibbs racing product. So I switched over to their synthetic power steering fluid, and it still, the pump didn't seem too happy, but with this one in it, right now, just, you know, starting it up and stuff, it seems like it might be happy. So hopefully that works. If not, I'm gonna have to swap out the pump. It might be damaged from kind of overheating the fluid, and you know, maybe whatever properties or additives are in the fluid that's now in there. So, but it is really weird. Mopar did discontinue the fluid for this, and now they're saying to go back to ATF4. So kind of strange that way, but it works. I'm happy. I'll keep you guys updated. A lot of stuff coming, you guys. So I'll update you guys on a separate video. We have a lot of stuff on the way between the Hellcat Ram, our SST outside, the other Dakota, all kinds of stuff on the way. So thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys on the next video.